Alright, so I've talked about LGBT representation on my channel before and how we need more LGBT representation. And yeah, I kind of wanted to do a kind of like, I guess, a part two of that, kind of talking more about it. I feel like I don't remember if I did kind of talk about this a little bit in that video or not, because it's been a while, but I kind of just like, why not make a extension video or whatever off of that video, because yeah, why not? It's Pride Month. Why not make more Pride Month videos, I guess? But yeah, so a lot of the representation that we have for LGBT stuff is usually just gay men, and they're usually like white and cis. So it's kind of like, it's cool that we have more gay people on screen, but what about the rest of the whole thing? Like, there's so many other letters you could cover in a show or a movie or whatever, or books or any media, really, video games too. Like, there's a lot of LGBT plus characters, but we could still use more and like a variety of different things. And it has gotten a bit better over the years. Um, like, I mean, when I was a kid, we didn't really have cartoons with gay characters, like when I was super little. Like, I mean, I guess when I was a teenager, we started kind of getting a little bit more characters in like cartoons. Um, like, when did Steven Universe come out? 'Cause was that Steven Universe? I think was when I was a teenager. Yeah, 2013, so I would have been like early teens. So, that was, I guess, kind of childhood for me, but like I was a teenager by the time that started, so, you know, I don't know if I really like I guess kind of count it as childhood, but like I was already like halfway through my childhood really, because I mean, teenagers are still kids, but I don't know. It's kind of like older kids, so it's kind of like a little different, I guess. Yeah, but also, I mean, like, I guess there was like Doctor Who that started in 2005, but I didn't start watching New Who until I was like 12, 13, like kind of around that age. Because I didn't know about it until then, and then I also didn't know that there was a classic Doctor Who before that. So, we still had some gay characters and some lesbian characters, and maybe even like a couple bi characters in like older shows. Like there's like Star Trek had some stuff, but even then it was like only a little bit, and then like Doctor Who had some stuff, and like I think a couple of Doctor Who spin-offs also had a couple, and but like I didn't know about that until I was like a little bit older, so I didn't see any of those until I was a little bit older. But yeah, but nowadays there's other stuff like Owl House kind of comes to mind, but that's, it's when did Owl House start? Let's see, 2020. So yeah, I was like already an adult by the time that kind of started. So, I mean, younger kids, younger people can. I'm not a kid anymore, so I don't know why I said younger kids, but younger people got to kind of grow up with that, so that's cool. But yeah, so I didn't really have very much when I was a kid. I didn't really see any of that stuff. Also, I can think of like Golden Girls kind of had a couple LGBT plus characters, but I think only one of them was like in like one episode, and then the other, I don't, I don't know, because I haven't really watched Golden Girls. Like I haven't watched that completely, so I don't really know. But I should probably start watching that at some point. But yeah, I mean, there was still LGBT plus characters in older things. It just wasn't as often as it is now. And yeah, so like it's cool that it's more often, but I still feel like, there's not as many like trans characters. Like, there's trans characters, but like I feel like there, could be more. Also there could be more characters of color that are, I mean, there could be more characters of color in general, but also there could be more characters of color that are gay and trans and, all these different things. So, we could always use more of that. So, yeah, I just, I feel like there's a lot of straight, or not straight, but like cis gay white men still, but like there could be more of more variety of things. Like, it's still great that we're getting more and more nowadays, but you could kind of expand on that and not just have like a gay man, a gay straight cis man, or a gay cis woman. Like you could have someone be trans or someone be, non-binary. Dragon Prince has a few LGBT plus characters, and some of them are also characters of color, so that's cool. But again, like that also didn't come out until I was like however old, so I didn't grow up with it, but it's cool that other people get to kind of grow up with that, especially since like there's books and then there's the animated series. So, you know, like that's cool that other people get to grow up with it. I just kind of wish that I had that as a kid because I didn't really have that because a lot of the LGBT representation was like either for an older audience because it was like rated R or PG 13 or something like that, or like higher. It was for older people, so like little kid me couldn't really do that or whatever. It couldn't really, like, it wasn't targeted towards me, so whatever. Or it was like live action, and I didn't really, whatever. Like I watched live action stuff, but it was, you know, I don't know. Like again, like I didn't see Doctor Who until I was like a little bit older, but I also didn't see it on anything until, yeah. So I just found it because it was on whatever thing that I was using, and then I was like, oh, what is this? And then I started watching it, and then so I didn't know about it until however many years after it started. So yeah, I think it was on like 11 or 12 by the like it was on the 11th Doctor, I think, when I started watching it, because like when was 11 running? Because if I was like 12 or 13 when I started, I would have to check that. But yeah, I didn't start watching it until there was already like a few seasons in to its run. So, you know. And then like other stuff like, I mean, I guess there's like My Little Pony where they confirmed Lyra and Bon Bon, but that wasn't until like the very end of the series where those two characters kind of had like a little moment at the very end of the series. And by the time the series ended, I was like an adult. So, you know, that kind of doesn't really count for like gay representation for me as a kid because like they weren't confirmed as a thing until the very last bit, so I don't really count that as like me growing up with LGBT characters. So yeah, and they're ponies. So I don't know. I mean, I guess it's still cool that they had gay characters in My Little Pony, but like they're ponies. So I don't know. It's a little different, I guess, but yeah, I just kind of wanted to talk about how LGBT representation could be a little bit better. Um, you know, also we can have good characters and evil characters that are LGBT plus. Like, obviously we don't want to be like villainizing every single gay character on screen or every single trans character on screen. But I feel like, we could still have a mix of like, oh, here's heroes that are gay and heroes that are trans, and then here's like an evil character, an antagonist that is gay or trans. Because, not all gay or trans people are like good or bad. You know, we are a variety of good and bad. So, you know, obviously we don't want the whole like stereotypical evil gay character, evil trans character, but because I feel like a lot of people already villainize us enough in real life, but we could still have a variety of different characters that are gay and trans. Um, like Outlast 2 has a trans character that's within like the cult that's going after the main character that you're playing. And then was it the sleepaway camp? I watched the first movie and that has it where I guess spoilers for that movie, but the one main character is a trans woman and yeah, she's not really, I guess, a very like good character, I guess. I'll keep it kind of somewhat vague for if you've never seen the Sleepaway Camp movies, if you're interested in watching those movies. But yeah, like one of the characters is a trans girl, and she's not really. I mean, I guess she's has trauma, but I think even if you have trauma, you can be a good person. So you know, whatever. But yeah, anyways, so yeah, I feel like, even with characters like those, like, it's still representation, I guess. So, I don't know. But yeah, like we can have good and bad characters but like just as long as there's a mix of good and bad, like good and evil characters. So, I don't know. But anyways, I guess that's kind of it. I don't think I really need to talk about it much else because I kind of already rambled a lot and I don't really want to, like, possibly, repeat myself too much. So, yeah, I guess that'll be it for this video. So, bye.